Hello, and who is this that's joining us?
That would be Chris.
Yes, me.
Happy morning, Chris.
Okay, well, so what we have online now is we also have Adam, who is sort of like the leader of a large group, and I have two guests who couldn't be on today. Chris has two guests that may or may not be on today, and her husband who's at work. So, you know, like the sort of like the many team leaders are all here, so we can share this.
So there's not a Tom Getty on there or Karen Popple, are they?
No, I don't see them.
Okay, because I told them about it, but one was traveling, so I don't know.
Yeah. And we are recording it, so hopefully I can figure out how to send recordings to people.
Oh, wonderful.
After the fact.
So let's start. So those people that are here on time should be included on time, right?
Yes.
And, my name is Ray Lowe. I'm here with Casey Dempster, and Casey and I basically had a lot to do with organizing this and kicking this off. We have with us Hunter from Silversea Cruisees, and he's going to take some time answering questions and talking a little bit about this magnificent cruise that we're going to take. And we are recording it so that people can get on. So and see it if they can't be on now. So let me start with kind of an announcement that I want to make that affects us all. So one of the things that happens to us, it's a very positive thing, is Silverseas is going to give us some incentive money because we have a group and we have a goodly number of people involved. And we've decided that what we're going to do, we don't know what this is going to be yet because we're not going to know until the last minute exactly what we have. But the idea is we're going to take that money and we're going to put it back into our group on the cruise. And what exactly it's going to be yet, I can't tell you, but it will be some sort of an excursion or something like that that will absolutely take this event that we're going to do and take it from a really good trip to an absolutely spectacular trip. So one of the things to keep in mind here as we go is that the more people we get to sign up for this, the more incentive money we're likely to get out of this. So, and we're at a point where get another couple in there, it makes a significant difference. So although we don't want to force anybody to go along, and we certainly don't want to drag people along that we don't want to have with us, okay, there is some room to add some people if we can. And let's do it because we still have two incentives open. Is that right, Hunter?
Correct.
So do you want to take a minute and talk to us about these incentives for people to join? That's different.
Yeah. Can I interrupt before Hunter starts and ask people to tell if they until we open it up for questions? And you can mute by going to the left-hand corner of the screen. There's a little microphone, and if you click on that, it will mute because we're getting a lot of background noise. And then when you're looking for questions, you can click that microphone again, and it will unmute you.
I'm sure it's my dad. If you have control, he's hearing impaired, so you might have to mute for him. Do you have the ability to do that, right?
Yeah, I did it. He's muted.
There you go.
All right, cool. All right, so Hunter, why don't you start out by talking to us a little bit about, we get free airfare for a certain period of time, and if you prepay the trip by a certain date, you get a 10% discount, and these have dates where they end. We don't know whether or not they'll be renewed or not.
Correct.
So take a minute and talk to us about that, and then I got a whole bunch of questions for you.
Perfect. So yeah, for the two promotions that we're offering on this voyage, you got the early booking bonus, which is a 10% savings. So if you pay in full before January 3rd of 2020 for this voyage, you'll get 10% off, which Silversea is usually a pretty significant amount and definitely worth taking advantage of if you're able to. So 10% savings by January 3rd. The next one is complimentary air. So Silversea is offering complimentary air to your voyage. That's round trip, and that's economy. But if you did want to upgrade, it's $6.99 each way for business class, which, as we all know, was a really, really great deal. So that deadline is November 30th. And Ray, to your point, that may extend. That just depends on the airlines and what they give us. But as of right now, today, it's November 30th.
Cool. Okay, now we have a unique trip that my wife and I kind of chose where we're going initially because it's an area of the world that we haven't seen much of. And it's exciting, although we don't know a lot about things. So we're going to start this thing in Athens, Greece. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So
October 19th.
Go ahead.
No, October 19th, you guys start there in Athens, Greece.
And what we're doing here is, although part of the cruise does not involve extensive time in Athens, we do have the ability to go in early for anybody who wants to spend some time there. And I believe there are some side trips that are set up for that.
Absolutely. And to your point there, I think it's always a good idea to go in a day early. Delays can happen with flights, as I learned last night. But going in early and staying a day or two late is always nice too, because if you're going to go all the way, halfway across the world, may as well enjoy what you're doing, get a night or two to take in Athens, to take in, Italy, wherever you're going. But as far as what you guys have set up there, I don't know off the top of my head what you guys have set up necessarily, but there's a lot of offers that we have, lots of different excursions. And as we all know, there's so much to do there, so much to see. So, 3 days wouldn't be enough, if you know what I mean.
Okay. So one of the things that none of us have set our airfare dates yet. And when we get a chance, when we get closer and we get a chance to do that, one of the things to think about is whether or not you want to spend more time in Athens. Mm-hmm. Now, the next place we're going to, and I can't pronounce this, Cruisees.
Cruisees, Turkey. Yes, correct.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about it, because the pictures I've seen are absolutely spectacular.
Yes, it's absolutely beautiful. This is not a place I've been, place I've researched and spoken about a few times. It's going to be a really great place for beaches. Obviously, there's a lot of historical, places to see there and a lot of things to do. But personally, I would be on the beach there. Beautiful turquoise waters, beautiful large sandy beaches. So a lot going on there. And I believe you're there. I think you're there till like 11 o'clock at night. So this is also a nice opportunity to experience some of the culinary delights there, stay for dinner, experience what an authentic dinner is in Turkey. So I would suggest doing that there too.
Okay. Then we're going to go to Rhodes, the island of Rhodes, right?
Mm-hmm. You are.
Am I wrong? Is this where the Colossus of Rhodes used to be? Or
yeah, that's it. That's where it was. Yeah.
Well, it was.
It was, yes.
And unfortunately, there's not much left of it, but we're going to get a little bit of history here. We're going to get a chance to again see a beautiful part of Greece.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. So it's UNESCO World Heritage Site as well. So when you're there's only a certain amount in the world, and they're always great to see. So any chance you get to see a UNESCO World Heritage Site, take advantage of that. And that's an old town. Beyond that, I was told, and I've been asking around a little bit in the company, the Acropolis of Lindos is a great place to visit as well if you have a chance. So.
Okay. And what's going to happen is you haven't released your excursions for this trip yet.
They're out now.
Pardon?
They are on the website now.
They are on the website.
They are on the website now.
So we could go scrounge on the website and get an idea of what the excursions are at each of these places, and we can get a sense of some of the things that we might want to do and see. All right?
Correct. You're correct.
Then we have a day at sea. Okay? So tell us what we do on this wonderful ship we're going to be on at a day at sea.
That's the beautiful thing about Silversea is the days at sea are some of my favorite. So it's pretty much a day of relaxation, whatever you want to do. If you want to work out, go work out. If you want to sit by the pool all day and relax, which is what I do, sit by the pool all day and relax. You've got your different options on food there. You've got your complimentary beverages, and your butler and everybody else on the ship is happy to take care of you during all this. So lots of relaxation, a lot of eating, a lot of whatever else but it's a wonderful and relaxing day, nice in between ports, kind of put your bearings back.
So let's take a minute and talk about this ship, because it's different. It's much smaller than the big cruise lines, and yet it's large enough to have all the amenities that we want to have and have choices. So take a minute, Hunter, and tell us a little bit about this cruise ship.
So you guys are going to be on the Silver Shadow. And the great thing for you guys is right now, at this very moment, the Silver Shadow is in dry dock. So she is being completely refurbished. I mean, top to bottom, all the suites are being redone. The restaurants are being redone. So you guys are going to have essentially a brand new ship here. The hull will be the same, but everything you will be seeing and touching and feeling and smelling will be brand new for you guys. So it's going to be great. Lots of restaurants. So for a ship that holds, I believe it's 388 guests, and as you mentioned, quite small. It's got 4 restaurants, so a lot of different choice there. So lots going on to do. And
all the food is included?
Absolutely. So with Silversea, we include everything except for the shore excursions. Your food, your drinks, your gratuities, your butler, all of these items, and airfare, as we mentioned. These things are all included for everybody. And that's top shelf. That's whatever you want, whenever you want.
So if we have a shipboard credit that we're being given, what the heck do you use it for?
So that can go towards excursions, which is a great thing to do. Beyond that, the spa. No cruise line in the world can include the spa. So the spa is another great one. If you want to get a massage, facial, mani-pedi, whatever you like. Those are all available. There you go.
Okay, so the next port that we're going to go to is Corfu, which is in Greece. And let Casey make a comment before we open that up to Hunter.
Well, I think I've probably bored everybody to death, but there has been a series on PBS called The Durrells in Corfu. And the setting is pre-World War II. But it's a really charming series, and I had been watching it, and when I saw that Corfu was one of our ports, that made me very happy because the countryside there is beautiful.
What channel is that on?
PBS.
Oh, PBS, okay.
Okay, Hunter, more on Corfu.
I think she nailed it. It is. It's a beautiful countryside, and it's not a large area, so you can take a lot of it in. Again, I'm a beach person, so beautiful beaches there as well. I would definitely, if you have a chance, go see that. But you've got pretty much 360 views everywhere you go there, so there's a lot to see. And also food. This is a big culinary area. I've heard that, the big restaurants are great, but some of these little tucked away hole-in-the-wall places are where you really want to go. Family-owned for many generations, just great heritage. And that's what I would personally do there, is kind of take them off the beaten path route.
Yeah, the beach and then the food, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to say for everything.
What else is there?
Well, there's scenery, and I understand this is one of the most beautiful parts in the world. And the pre-trip stuff that I kind of got is that we all have suites on board, and we all have lots of windows that we're going to be exposed to, and go up on deck with the fellow travelers and kind of watch the world go by here. Because I understand it's spectacular.
That's a great point. And all suites on Silversea are ocean view, and majority have balconies as well. But to your point, the other passengers on the ship, a lot of them are going to have been here maybe once, maybe 10, maybe 15 times. A lot of Silversea passengers are very well traveled. So you're going to have little tour guides all around you. So definitely take advantage of that and speak to people, see what they've done or what they would do. That's a great point.
And
Okay.
are there opportunities for hiking and doing some walking?
Oh, absolutely.
All these places? Yeah.
And you can always go off and do whatever it is that you would like personally, or you can talk to our excursion desk, and they can likely, if we don't offer that excursion, we can find somebody that will do it for you and guide you.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of the next things that we're going to be doing is we now go into a lot of countries that a lot of us haven't been into. Okay. And I think you said on our podcast the other day that how many countries are we going to see on this voyage?
7, I believe. Yeah, 7 countries. Yeah.
Okay. So we're not going into Albania. And I guess during the Cold War, it's a place we never would have gone.
It's a place,
It's, again, spectacular. I'm not sure what it is that we exactly see here, but we have the list of excursions to go through, and we should take some time each and do that. And by the way, we've got plenty of time on this. We'll get Hunter on again in a couple months if we need to, and we'll do our research and find out what else is there. By the way, before I forget, there is a great little app that you can get for your phone. It's called BEEN, Ben, as in places I have been. And it gives you a chance to check off all of the places in the world that you have been to. And then it kind of gives you a summary and gives you a map that you can put on a website or on Facebook or on wherever you want to kind of summarize where you are. And one of the things that you're going to work, it's free. So everybody ought to get this, by the way, and it's easy to handle. And it's extremely revealing because you're all of a sudden going to find out how big this world is and how little of it you've seen. And I don't care how much of you've seen. You've only seen a fraction of it. So I have never been to Albania. I've never been to the next one, which is Montenegro. Okay. Any comments you have to make on Montenegro, Hunter?
So Albania, this is a new port for us. I'm going to step back to Durrës, Albania. That's a new port for us. I don't know much about it, but it looks gorgeous. I've heard the wine there is very good too. So check that out if you're into wine. I'm not sure even how to pronounce this. Qatar, Montenegro. Another place I haven't been. But there's one town there, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's over 1,000 years old. Absolutely beautiful. Again, UNESCO World Heritage Site here. So you guys are seeing a lot of historical destinations, which is going to be great. But this is a place I do not know too much about. But next call, I'm going to do my research.
Okay, so we're going to do that. And in between, we all have a chance to go online now and look at the excursions that are available and get our list of questions together. And we're going to go from Montenegro to Croatia and a little town called Split. I love that. Is that like a split of champagne?
Maybe that's where the split of champagne came from. That's a good point. Actually, I'm going to research that.
Okay. And then we're into Slovenia, and then we're going to wind up in Venice. And I understand that you guys as a team are pumping it out right now. So we're free of water by the time we get there.
Hopefully by that time this change in the seas is done. It should be. It's not a normal occasion. So
and Venice is one of the few places, and in fact, it's the only place on this trip that I've actually been to.
Okay.
And it's spectacular. So if you want to take some time at the end of this trip and you want to spend some time in Venice. And the canals are spectacular. The Italian food is absolutely magnificent. Here we are. We're back to food and water again, Hunter. Okay.
What else is there,
Okay. So I think our job now is going to be to kind of go through the excursion list and find out what's going on. If we have friends that we would like to travel with, get them to sign up while they still get some of these incentives. And we have, I think, about 17 or 18 people traveling with us at the present time, which is a great size group. If we added 3 or 4 more, that would be a great size group. If we added 100 more, it's too many. Okay.
Right.
But if you have people that you would like to travel with, because part of this concept of a friends connection and the friends traveling adventures here is to travel with friends. It is the way that you get to really understand and open up relationships with people that you liked before. And we've been doing this for a long time. We did it when we had our business. We had excursions to Italy, to London, to Costa Rica, to a couple of other places. And this is an extension of that. And I am looking forward to meeting some of the friends of my friends that are coming along on this. And I'm looking forward to seeing new things and being able to share the experiences with other people. By the way, Sandy and I have been traveling in a couple different modes. Sandy is my spouse. And we've traveled alone together, and we've traveled in small groups. And what I found is wonderful about the small groups is that you have people to share your experiences with, and they can open up things that maybe we saw but didn't really see and really didn't appreciate. And over the food that we're going to have on this trip and the wine and everything else, I think it's really great. So, Casey, why don't you take control of this right now? And if anybody has questions for Hunter or anything that they would want to comment on before we close up, let's do it.
Well, first thing is Adam wants us to spell that app again, and I'll confess I've been sitting here on my phone filling it out. It's BEEN, as in where have you been? And
B as in boy, B as in
yes.
boy or P?
B as in boy.
Oh, BEEN, like where have you been? Okay, I thought, okay, I was trying to spell it out. Okay, so BEN.
Two E's.
2 E's, Ben. Okay,
Yeah,
that's the name of the app.
Confess. Okay. It's time for confession here. So Sandy and I filled this out, and we were feeling pretty good about our travel life. We've been on all 7 continents. We've traveled a lot, and then I filled out this app, and it came back, and I'm thinking, wow, this is going to give me a spectacular map of where I've been. And it said, congratulations, Rain and Sandy, you've seen 17% of the countries in the world. You know, and all of a sudden it made me realize how big this world is. And one of the beauties of this is going to help me a lot because I pick up 7 countries on this trip that I haven't been to. So I'm going to get a really big extension here. You know, maybe I'll be up to 18% of the world, something like that. Good. Anybody have
Ray?
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Adam, what roughly the time that we're going? What roughly is the temperature in these areas? Are they all relatively the same? And what is the temperature?
That question was directed to Hunter.
Okay.
Hunter, I'm sorry.
That time of year, let's say, I'm going to find out right now. So as the next question comes in, I'm going to find out because I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. So
and then I hope if we're going to split Croatia, there's going to be a Game of Thrones excursion.
Actually,
on the list.
I will say, Chris, that my son went to Croatia last year, and the reason he went was to visit some of the Game of Thrones sites. I don't know. I'll see him this holiday. I'll ask him if he did tours or if they just sought them out.
Yeah, well, there is online. I see that there is a Game of Thrones tour. There is an actual one.
Good call. There is.
A lot of it was filmed there. I just know that would be of interest to me and some people.
You're right. That is something we're offering now. That's relatively new for us, but yes, it's there. Good call.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of it was filmed there in that particular area on some of the ruins there, and it was really interesting to see.
And Hunter, while you're looking at temperatures, I believe that all of these countries are on the euro. Is that correct?
Correct. Very good call there.
So this makes traveling nice because we don't have to change a bunch of money. Okay. Most of the excursions will be prepaid. All these countries are going to take credit cards where you're going to get your best exchange rates. And if we all have a bunch of euros in there, we'll be able to take care of the little stuff, and it'll make it easy. We don't have to wind up with a pocket full of all different currencies we'll never use again.
Good call. And so for the weather, it's looking, mid 70s, so not too bad. It's actually a perfect time to go. So mid to low 70s in the day, in the evenings, high 50s, maybe mid 50s. It's a nice time of year for that, and then also a lack of rainfall, so not too much rainfall. So it's a great time.
Awesome.
I was hearing some questions about airfare, that there are direct flights, but they end sometime in October. There's usually direct flights, but there's a certain date that they stop, and it's usually in October. I don't know if it'll be before or after we're there.
So, and that's a good point. So when it comes to the airfare that we're offered by the airlines, that is the complimentary air, it's generally not going to be nonstop. It'll likely be one stop, sometimes two, very rarely. If you're in a smaller gate, it may be a 2-stop, but it's generally a one layover.
Hey, so Hunter, this is Adam. That's actually disappointing to hear because when we booked, we were told that our travel agent reached out to you and that you were quite confident that going from Newark to Athens and then Venice back to Athens, that you would have direct, because we made our selection of using your airfare versus the credit based on the ability that we were told that that would not be a problem.
Well, I'd have to look into it. I don't want to guarantee nonstop. I would never say that because it's not up to us at all. It's up to the airline completely. They give us certain blocks and then we work with that. Now it's possible, absolutely, but I definitely don't want to say on here that it's going to happen.
Well, can we look at that then? And if you can't deliver, then maybe we can trade and get the credit and then just book our own airfare. Because there are direct flights.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what I'm interested too, is direct flights.
Yeah, my experience on these is we're going from large cities where most of us are either going to be going from Philadelphia or Newark or BWI or something like that. So the flights generally are pretty good. Mm-hmm. And my experience is that they try real hard to get you on the flights that are going to be comfortable and minimize delays. And sometimes you go through small cities and you can't not have one or two stops. But we're going to two major markets. We're going to Athens, and then we're coming back from Venice. So unless you're taking a bunch of side trips, I think the odds are pretty good that you'll be happy with the air accommodations.
And you're very correct in that. That's spot on. I just don't want to go on here and guarantee you all nonstop, because that would be completely wrong.
Yeah, especially if we're having you back later, right?
And this is being recorded, so you know.
Yes.
Right.
Anybody have any other questions?
Yeah, Hunter, I just have one logistical question that someone on our trip has presented. So we have a couple of very tall and large people that will be on the trip. And my aunt had a concern that a queen size bed is just not going to cut it for her and her husband. Is there a way in which you can, I guess, take the two twin beds and put them together to make a larger bed, or how do you guys handle that? Some other cruise lines will do that.
Take the two twin beds and put them together?
Correct. Yeah, I think two twins she's communicating to me that is closer to a king size bed than European queen.
That is what we do. We do the two twins. So we have the option in every suite to have two beds, and if we go to one bed configuration, we push those together, and that creates the one.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. All right, thanks.
I'm 6'3" myself, and I understand all these being tall things. It's not easy.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. Anybody else? All right.
I do. I'm sorry. One more. These folks could not make it on the call today, but if it's recorded, I'll send it. But when we arrive in Venice, they are going to extend their trip and for another week and go do other things. So, do you have a package you could help them with? And they might just do it on their own. I'm not exactly sure, but is there someone that they could call if they want to, get that excursion? They're going to do their own flights too, but is there someone that they can reach out to? Maybe you, Hunter, about where to get a car and all that kind of stuff after because they're not coming back with us.
Sure. So for this group, we're working with Avenue 2 Travel, and they would definitely be able to help you with all of this for sure.
All right. So I'll just have them, if they want to, I'll have them call Avenue 2.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, one of the things that Avenue 2 will do for us as we go is if you know of places you want to go at one of these ports and there is not an excursion, I can't imagine that there won't be because there's so many, but they can help put together custom excursions for us. They can get us cars at the end. They can extend a trip. They can have people come in at the beginning. As we get closer to this thing, let me know and we'll help coordinate whatever it is we have to coordinate to get people where they want to be. I think the big thing right now is I hope this got your taste buds excited here a little bit. And what we can do is we've got time. We have about 10 months before we're actually taking this trip, and so we have time to do another webinar or two if we need to do that. We have time to get questions answered, and we have time to get excited and get creative. So let's do that. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to one of the best trips I've taken with some great people. And let's do it. So, Hunter, any parting words?
I'm going to find out some of the answers you guys had questions about, especially regarding the air. I want to make sure you guys are all completely happy with that, because that's how you start your trip and that's how you end it. So you want to start on a good foot and end on a good foot as well. So I'll find those questions. But beyond that, once you're on the ship, it's going to be absolutely wonderful. We're going to take great care of you, and you'll have a lot of great people with you. So it's going to be wonderful.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. And we'll record this. We'll send out where the recording is so you can go see it again if you want. And we'll do this again. So let's just keep working at this. And if you have friends that want to come, let's get them signed up and let's get them on those incentives before they expire. So everybody have a great day, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Take care.
Great. Bye.